I had a hobby too. Mine happened to be guns and ballistics. And I studied guns and ballistics as much as I could, and I wrote an article about high velocity.
So out of all my years working at Weatherby, the last 5 have been some of the most exciting. Working with Adam, with him running the company.
And to think that I get the opportunity of carrying on my grandfather's legacy 75 years later here in Sheridan, Wyoming, I mean, it really is a dream come true.
Oh, I'm home. Thank God I'm home.
On Our Mark, the Weatherby Podcast.
All right, On Our Mark, the Weatherby Podcast. We've got 2 special guests, first-time appearances to the Weatherby Podcast. We've got Zach Hine, who's a new addition to the Weatherby Team, our new marketing director.
Yeah.
Welcome, Zach.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
I think people can expect to hear a lot more from you in time.
Yeah. Yep. I got to kind of get my feet underneath me, but yeah.
Off to a quick start. Not even a full weekend. No, one
Right
week
at 1
anniversary today.
Mhm.
Fantastic. Next to Zach, we've got Glen Pauley from Wyoming Game and Fish. You're the outreach specialist, which means you're like, you just make stuff happen.
Well, yeah, I communicate with the public. So if they have questions or the Game and Fish has a big initiative, I help get the word out.
Our main focus today, I'm sure we're going to have some detours, is the Wyoming Supertag raffle.
Yeah.
Give me the well, let's start with like the elevator speech on what that even is.
Okay. It was established in 2014 by the Wyoming Game and Fish Department, and it was to give additional hunting opportunities to Wyoming hunters, and it was to generate new revenue for the department. And what it is a raffle. It's for all our major big game species and our trophy game species. And if a hunter wins a Supertag ticket, if you're the winner, you get to hunt any open area in the state for that species. You don't have to pick one, any area that's available.
Wait a second. Any species, any unit.
Well, you pick your species.
Okay.
There's 10 available. Once you draw that, you can hunt any unit in the state. And so you can go from multiple units. You don't have to pick it ahead of time.
Sheep, moose.
We do have some restrictions on sheep and moose. They're involved with it. If
Okay.
it's a sheep license, there has to be 8 or fewer licenses or
In that unit.
Yes.
Okay.
More than 8 licenses, I'm sorry. And it's the same for moose and for buffalo. There has to be more than 10 licenses available. But with those restrictions, for everything else, for the elk, for the deer, for the mountain goat, you can hunt any unit in Wyoming. And so you don't have to pick. So you can pick, you can start with archery in one unit from the beginning of the season and hunt unit to unit to unit until you harvest until the end, as long as it's open. And the other advantages of that, besides that, is that when you draw, if you are in the preference point pool, you do not use your preference points. And also you are not, the restrictions as far as the once in a lifetime restrictions for mountain goat or the 5-year restrictions before reapplying for a moose or sheep, those don't apply to you. And so you basically get a free licenses to hunt those animals. And besides that, we do have all our major big game species. We do have a trophy game species, but our extra special package is the trifecta. And then you get to choose any 3 from all the species offered. So in 1 year, if you wanted to, you could hunt a sheep, a moose, and a mountain goat, or whatever you decided to pick among those species.
That sounds good. I'll do that.
Okay. Well, I hope you get the opportunity.
I kind of want to stop the podcast and not publish this because if we tell too many people about this, I feel like my chances are going to go down.
Well, especially for a guy like me who just moved here and my I've missed windows and this is I can buy raffle tickets right now.
Well, yes.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah, there's 2 things I want to say to you. First, I can't say to a lot of people that a raffle ticket's a good investment, but I think this is a good investment. First, you get a chance to get the super tag. We're going to talk about what you can get later on in May if you buy a super tag. So it's not just a super tag anymore. There's stuff in addition to a super tag. So if you don't win, your money goes to a good cause. Money from the super tag goes to our general fund. It supports all our major programs. If it's hunter access, if it's hunter recruitment, if it's CWD monitoring, that's where your money's going. It's raising.
It stays in Game and Fish. It's
stays
not,
in Game
it's
and
not
Fish.
going to just the state of Wyoming.
Stays in Game and Fish.
Awesome.
It goes right to wildlife. Last year, the Supertag raised about $1.3 million, actually a little more. Since it began, it's $6.2 million.
How much is one entry?
It's $10 for the Supertag. I know everybody can afford $10. You can buy as many tickets as you want. The trifecta is $30. And you can purchase
so you're
those.
telling me there's a chance.
There's a chance, exactly.
I love it. So, wow. Okay, so that's a lot. That's a lot of people are putting in.
They do put in. I think a lot of people have a real habit. A lot of people hear about the raffle and they want to go and support the cause or one of the promotions we're running. We get a lot of hunters as they're going through a license process. They put one or two in their cart when they're applying for licenses. And what's amazing, you are definitely increasing your odds by the more super tags you purchase. But I'm stunned at the number of people that buy one or two tickets and win. And, I get to call. Yeah, I get to call these guys. They usually don't believe me when I get them on the phone that they won. But, it only takes one.
With $1 to $10 ticket.
Yeah,
right?
it only takes one. And that's the truth.
It makes me feel bad because I've been buying Wyoming license. I've been out here to sage grouse hunt a few times, and that's always been an option, and I haven't done it. And now I feel stupid.
Yeah, well, like I said, who can't afford $10? And we got something really exciting going on for May, which I'm real anxious to talk to people about as well. So
you break the news. So what is today? April 28th, but we're not going to release this for a few days.
Sure.
So that for the month of May,
Yep.
if they buy a super tag or a chance to win a super tag, a raffle ticket, what happens?
Well, with the super tag, we have been partnering with people in the outdoor industry that has an interest in conservation. We really consider the super tag the ultimate hunting adventure. It's a once in a lifetime licenses. And a lot of companies have wanted to support that. So I called Luke up a while back. The Weatherby has been involved with the Supertag nearly since its founding. And I said, month of May is special. It's our application for deer, elk, resident elk, and antelope. So people are on our website. And I said, well, why don't we give something special to support the Supertag, to support conservation? Yeah. And Luke, I said, what would be a good rifle? I mean, everybody wants to win a rifle. I told him about the Supertag. I told him about the species. What do you think would be a good match? And what he said is your Mark V Backcountry Titanium.
Yeah. Let's go big or go home.
Yeah. And so that was exciting. So, I'd encourage everybody to put in to win the license, to contribute to conservation. But if you put it in May, this is just May. If you buy a Supertag ticket, your name is going to go into the raffle. We're going to look at all the people that purchase Supertag tickets in May and draw for that. And I really want to give people the opportunity what that means. People might not be familiar with the Mark V Backcountry. I took the tour of the factory today. I got to hold one in my hands. I get to see it produced, but I want you to tell people what that rifle is like and the special features for it. And in addition to that, we don't have one-step rifle. My understanding, Luke, is that individual is going to be able to pick as far as right or left hand and the calibers that it's available with. And my understanding, there's a number of configurations for that rifle. So I'd like to everybody know about what they might get if they win that.
Zach, are you ready to tell everybody about that rifle?
Ooh, I got the basics.
I'll spare you for now. You get another week. Yeah, so really, we've done some podcasts specifically on that rifle, but in a nutshell, we purpose-built that rifle at the same time as we built the cartridge, the 6.5 Weatherby RPM. It's available in our Magnum 9-lug and also our standard action 6-lug, but the RPM was purpose-built for the 6-lug action. I consider that 6.5 RPM Backcountry Ti the ultimate sheep gun. So if you win a super tag and you pick a sheep, does anybody not pick a sheep?
Well, you apply for sheep, and of course all those people, but for the trifecta, we've always had a sheep hunter. They always shoot a sheep. Then after that, it varies. It's usually they go for the hardest licenses, which I'd probably do.
Yeah, sheep, moose.
And mountain goat.
For sure.
But we do have a few people that go for elk. And actually, based on a lot of the sheep units that are open, it's real compatible. The Absaroka Mountain, those are our trophy elk units. So those two hunts
they work good together.
Yeah, those two hunts work good together. And, a lot of the moose, the applicants, we really shot some big moose last year, but those come out of the snowy range. So you can choose what you want. I would say 80% of them have been sheep, moose, and mountain goat, but a few guys have shot elk, and they've always shot a big elk. And we had one guy shoot a deer. He added that in there, and so
it's awesome.
Yeah.
So back to the rifle. Sorry, I'm still so.
He has sheep on the mind.
I'm so intrigued. I'm so intrigued by the opportunity, not just win, just one would be awesome. But the trifecta, that's
bringing his lunch for the next few months. Does he?
That's
squirrels away money.
Yeah, that's our most popular. It's $30. We sometimes refer to it as a divorce package because I hope you're prepared to hunt those 3 species.
And you have a lot of vacation time built up, like carry up or build up that PTO balance.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So most people are lucky to get one of those licenses a year. We get 3 in 1 year. It can be an embarrassment of riches, but those hunters they do really well. I mean, they tell me at the end they're usually a little blurry-eyed and worn out, but they usually just really get some incredible animals.
Well, that's just an experience of a lifetime. I mean, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's an opportunity you'd never have.
Yeah. So the rifle in the month of May that you can win is our Backcountry Ti. We built it at the same time we built the 6.5 Weatherby RPM, which before this rifle came out, which was fall of 19, Weatherby wasn't necessarily known for being the lightest. We were known for being the fastest. And a lot of time to build a rifle sturdy enough to hold up to the fastest means it's heavy. Not ideal to lug a 12-pound rifle up on a sheep hunt or mountain goat hunt. And Adam Weatherby, he's not here. He's out bear hunting.
Shout out.
He's really passionate about backcountry hunting, and he wanted to combine speed and what Weatherby's known for with a really, really good backcountry rifle. So out of that came essentially the Backcountry Ti. So titanium receiver, carbon fiber stock, super lightweight. The stock has our patented 3D hex recoil pad, so it's a 3D printed recoil pad. And so the first thing people say when they hear that in the 6-lug variety, it's 4.9 pounds, and in the 9-lug, it's 5.9 pounds. When you can be scoped under 7 pounds with basically Magnum performance, people think, oh my gosh, my shoulder. That recoil pad really, really, really just – it changes the recoil signature. You're used to that just sharp hit when you pull a trigger. It essentially absorbs the recoil a little slower, so it changes it from a sharp hit to a more of a prolonged push. Of course, it's still, you can feel it. It's not like it's pillows. It's
Sure.
still, you're still shooting a gun.
Sure.
But everybody that's ever shot it, they kind of make this face like, that was so much better than I expected. And I love it. I personally know quite a few people that have taken animals at really long distances and had incredible confidence to do so. It's backed by our 1-inch guarantee. It's got a Trigger Tech trigger. So out of the gate, you need to add a scope. You need to pick your cartridge, and you can go shoot your sheep.
So this is my first introduction to it today, and so I picked one up at the showroom. And it was just a well-balanced, it felt great in my hands. I mean, it was just a really great gun. What type of, as far as calibers, or what type of configurations could the winner expect when they win? Because I know there's going to be some choices for that.
I may accidentally leave one out because I don't have the list in front of me here.
It's long,
so check me on this, internet. But in the 6-lug action, so this would be about 4.9 pound. You got 6.5 Creedmoor, our 6.5 RPM, 280 Ackley improved. I'm leaving one out on there, but I can't remember what it is.
I don't know why you're looking at me.
308 is on there as well. On the Magnum 9-lug variety, it's kind of your quintessential Weatherby calibers: 257 Weatherby, 6.5 300, 300 Weatherby. I think we got 300 Win in there as well, a couple others. But, yeah, as long as you can find ammo, you've got a new rifle to go shoot.
And what about the stock patterns and the metal finish on that?
Well, I told you, Glenn, we can do a custom floor plate if the winner chooses. If they want the standard one, that's fine. But we can put the Supertag logo on the bottom of the floor plate for the winner. The finish it's carbon fiber stock with basically a sponge pattern. So yeah. Check it out at weatherby.com, and you're going to have some pictures of it on.
Yeah. You can come to our website. You can only purchase Supertag tickets on our website. You can't go to your local retailer and do that. And if you go to the Supertag page, we're going to have that gun advertised. And right when you're there, you can go into our licensing system and buy your Supertag tickets as well. But all this information about what's being offered is great, and you can see it.
Do you have to purchase a license, or can you just go in and?
No, you do not. You can just buy. That's a really good question. You can just buy a Supertag ticket. Now, one of the things when you do buy a Supertag ticket, if you do win, you actually have to purchase a license. But you know you're the winner of that raffle. But all you have to do as far as your upfront is your $10 investment. So, you know if you go for a single species. The sheep, the elk, the moose, the mountain goat, the mule deer, those are all the $10, and the trifecta is $30.
Goodness.
How long do you run this? So every year, when does it start?
Yeah, we usually start selling them in mid-July is when we sell them, and we will sell some tickets in the fall. We really promote our marketing starting in the beginning of the year, and the last day to purchase Supertag tickets this year will be on July 1st.
That's the last tag deadline day, basically.
And we get it. You know, like I said, a lot of people. You know, I can't help. Well, actually, I don't play, but when I apply in other states, a lot of people throw them in their cart when they go through applying for licenses.
Sure.
You know, people should know that if you do want to hunt in Wyoming this year for deer or antelope, if you're a non-resident or a resident, you have till the end of May to apply. And then this is our resident elk period to do that. But, you know, we usually make those announcements about people that are successful in that draw towards, you know, third week in June, around then.
Around when the elk results come out.
Yeah, and so we often have a big surge of people, you know, they don't get the license they want, and they're desperate. And so we have a big surge of sales. Not only is the Supertag winding down to the deadline, but people really want to get a license. So if you aren't lucky enough to go through the regular draw and get your license, that Supertag option is always available.
So, question, and if you can't answer this, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Tag applications in general for 2021, how do they compare to last year?
To what I've heard, they're up. You know, I think we are like the rest of the outdoor industry. I think with COVID and people
everything's up.
Yes, everybody is heading to the field. I mean, I know last year, you know, our wardens and other people in the backcountry, they had just never see so many people utilizing the outdoors.
With that.
Yeah. And I think it's something that's saying that, and I think that what also happened, what was really shocking last year, all our demand for all our licenses was up, but one of the greatest demands actually was for our, you know, cow licenses and our doe licenses. And I think a few people got a little scared when COVID hit and the shortage was there.
The meat shortage, all the things it was a perfect storm.
Yeah, so I think they looked in their freezer and people got awful serious about that. And so all our license sales are up, but particularly for those species. And so, you know, it's been the same way this year. That we're having a lot of demand and people want to take advantage of the great outdoors.
Yeah, I think that it's a double-edged sword, right? I think as an industry and personally, I want as many people as possible to participate. And I think everybody feels the same way, but then we go out in the field and we see more orange hats running around, and deep down everybody's like, oh, this is my spot. But it's our spot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's we've got so much public land in Wyoming. We're so blessed to have like a ton of public land. I grew up in Texas.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of public land. There's not much you can hunt on.
Well,
I mean,
we have
here it's amazing.
We have a lot of opportunity as far as the public land, and in general, you know, the Wyoming Game and Fish Department is fairly conservative in our allocation of licenses. You know, we always very carefully manage the resource, and we want people to have a quality experience when they're in the field. And so we, you know, take those into account. But definitely in all the public land, you're sharing that resources, and you will run into other people. But what a blessing. You know, I'm a little bit like you. I don't like to tell people this. I was born in Wyoming, but actually grew up in Central Florida. And you know, in Wyoming, well, probably a lot of people know this, that, you know, we're very territorial here about where we are.
I'm that way now.
Wyoming's
terrible. Don't come here.
Yeah,
like, it's awful.
But you know, I'm just reminded when I go to other states and look at the opportunity that we have here. You know, most of us have the opportunity to not only get out in the field, but to hunt multiple species, and you know, it should be a good year.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the multiple species thing a little bit. What can't we hunt in Wyoming?
Well, pretty much everything. I mean, we don't have caribou. We're not able to hunt grizzly bears yet, but, you know, I think we're really well known for our elk and our mule deer. We have a lot of sheep licenses. 25% of our sheep licenses do go to non-residents, which is a fairly high allocation compared to other states, and so it's really good. And, you know, there's even some hidden gems here is that, you know, I think a lot of people aren't familiar with the whitetail deer hunting in Wyoming. The mule deer get a lot of attention, but probably, being in Sheridan, you've seen some of those deer here, and our Black Hills are really noted for that. You know, we are a turkey hunting state as far as the Black Hills and, you know, upland opportunity. So between our public land resources and the diversity of game, you know, as a sportsman, I'm very happy to be here in Wyoming.
There's no doubt about that. Do you have any stories that come to mind from previous Supertag winners?
Well, there's a few things. You know, my background is biological. And so I'm supposed to be a scientist, and I don't believe, you know, I'm not supposed to believe in luck. But, you know, watching the Supertag winners, there's some lucky guys out there.
Yeah.
And one guy, he drew the Mountain Goat Supertag in Wyoming. The previous year, he won the California Bighorn. I forgot where that was in Nevada. And then we had one guy one year, he drew a sheep license through the preference point system. You know, he had enough points, he knew. But then he drew the trifecta. So he shot 2 sheep.
No, he didn't.
In 1 year.
That guy's a jerk.
Yeah. And so we just have a lot of great stories. We had our first youth draw a license last year. He drew an elk license and went up and shot a really nice bull. And so, you know, most everybody has a really good time, and most people really treat those licenses, I think, with the respect they have and put their time into it. And my advice to the winners is just enjoy yourself. You know, a lot of times you probably experience having a license like that. There's a lot of pressure, and you want to do well, but you can take your time.
I have not experienced having any kind of license like that.
For the record, I'm sorry to assume that. But anyway, you know, you can hunt a lot of neat areas. So if you drew the elk license, you know, you can start out in, you know, the Red Desert.
How much time do the winners have to select where?
They don't have to select where. You can hunt any open area in the state.
Oh, you don't have to just pick a unit.
No, that's the thing. See,
I totally missed that.
Yeah, and so I was going to say, you know, if you've always wanted to hunt the Red Desert, and it also allows people to hunt to their type of hunt. You know, the Red Desert is an area that has a lot of bulls, a lot of nice 6-point bulls. You know, that is an area it's almost similar to an antelope hunt. You know, if you want to do something like that, if you want to do something more in the backcountry, you can do that. And if you want to do all of it, you can do that. If you want to do archery, you can do it. So, you know, for elk, you know, you could start in September 1st for archery,
right, and
be hunting through the whole rest of the year. Doing that, and occasionally, we don't have too many, but we even have a few bull seasons at times in special areas that go into January. So it's just a lot of hunting, and you can tailor that hunt to your opportunities. And one of my jobs, the most enjoyable part of my job is calling the winner. But when you do win, we really want you to have a quality experience. So I will download all the information I have about hunting in Wyoming. I want you to get a nice antelope, but you'll also have access to the resources of the Wyoming Game and Fish Department. Is that, you know, I will put you in touch with a local biologist. I'll put you in touch with the local wardens. They all want you to be successful in your hunt and to get a nice animal. So we definitely try to take care of those people when they win.
I just must, well, I'm not that smart for one, but I must have missed that you don't have to select a unit. So you could literally just take laps around the state.
Exactly.
And see public land.
Yeah.
You see the species on any public land or private if you have permission.
Yeah.
But like if you didn't have permission, you could just, that elk looks good, I'm going to get that one.
Yeah, and it provides like I said, you can tailor the hunt or just see habitats that you've never seen. A lot of people haven't hunted elk in a desert environment, you know, lowlands, not big hills. Or if you really want to do a backcountry experience, you can do that or do both. And then also, you know, a lot of these hunts you can do yourself, but, you know, if you are interested in going outfitted, you know, most outfitters are drooling to take a Supertag winner because they don't have those restrictions.
They can
and
go anywhere.
They don't need to worry if that sheep crosses, you know, from unit 3 to unit 2. They can go after it or back and forth. And so there's a lot of options to do that. So they really do well.
You could be really choosy on your animal if you really wanted to, too.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem is just time.
Yeah.
It's just time. You're
basically
going to be hunting a lot.
Yeah.
Terrible first world problems.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be so rough.
Well, I tell everybody just enjoy themselves and have fun. But, you know, when they harvest a nice animal, it's good for everybody. As far as, you know, if it's outfitter, it's good for the outfitter. And we definitely, there's been a lot of stories about Supertag winners in magazines and things like that. And it's almost become kind of a hobby in Wyoming to follow those people. And people are interested at the end of the year, the type of animals they bring in.
I know I'm going to pay a whole lot more attention to it now. Like, it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
I remember I've read about it multiple times in emails. You guys send out an email blast every once in a while.
Yeah, we this is the time of year we get real active because people are on our website applying for licenses, and it's a great opportunity. And you know, like this month, you can, of course, get the license. You can get the Mark V, and we also have another gear package. If you buy 5 or more Supertag tickets or 2 more trifectas, we have $17,000 of gear. So if you buy one, you know, if you buy more than 5 Supertag, more than 2 trifectas, you're in for all of those. And, you know, what I always say to people, it's not a bad, it's a great cause. I mean, the demands for us as a game and fish are always increasing. Mm-hmm. You know, we're always dealing with new habitat issues or disease issues, and we're wanting to provide more access and those types of things. And all this money goes back into it. So, you know, I hope I get to give you a call and tell you that you won. But if you didn't win, you get the satisfaction that you gave to a good cause.
So when I win, did we sign anything about like conflict of interest?
I don't think so.
For the record,
if so, I got to step out.
You are eligible if your conscience can take it, Luke.
I would struggle with that a little.
I kind of you implied you already had a mock.
Winning the gun, not the tag, right?
Oh,
I would definitely not. I'm talking about the tag.
Oh, okay.
I would not win the gun.
Okay.
I'm for sure. But the tag, yeah, I think I'm okay for that.
I hope you win. I have no control over that, but I hope you win.
I used to say that I don't ever win anything, but I have won a hunt at a raffle before.
Did you really?
I won at Wild Sheep Show. I won the Less Than One Club. I've never shot a sheep. I want to. But the Less Than One which is the international, I won a mid-Asian ibex hunt.
That's to come?
It is. COVID has made planning the hunt very challenging.
So where are you going to be going exactly?
Tajikistan.
All right. With the Mark V backcountry?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, good. That
got to put it through its paces. Yeah. So very fortunate. That was a raffle ticket where you can only buy one.
Yeah, he was just complaining about not being lucky. Isn't that what he just said?
Well, that was prefaced with
lucky
he used to say that.
You lost a lot of credibility right there.
I think he just used up all his luck, though, so he's probably not lucky anymore.
Nope.
I've still got some.
Okay.
I hope.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a super cool thing that you guys do. I don't know what every state does, but if any other state is listening, y'all should be doing this too.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
But buy your Wyoming Supertag ticket first. No,
For sure.
There's a lot of states that do it, and it's a lot of fun. And the conservation dollars are getting to be substantial. So
awesome.
I think it's a win for everybody, and it's really been great, partnering with people like Weatherby and providing that one more opportunity for people, and that additional incentive has helped us with sales in the past, and so it's a great deal.
Well, we're happy to support it. I like to say if we can't win in our own backyard, which is now Wyoming, we can't win anywhere. And I love supporting stuff like this, and I think it falls completely in line with our mission to inspire the dreams of hunters and shooters, and that's all we've been talking about, basically.
Yeah.
So I had the opportunity today to go to the Wetherby Showroom. And I think most people now know that's in Sheridan, Wyoming.
It's in Sheridan,
but
and we're open 9 to 4.
That's what I was going to
Monday
ask.
to
That's
Friday.
available to everything, and I know I get to put my hands on all the Weatherby products and ask questions and see those types of things. So people, not everybody might know that. If they're coming to Yellowstone or going through this country, you can drop in.
We definitely see a big spike in the more tourist season. And just to be clear, if you're listening, I mean, we've got inventory challenges just like your dealer. If you've been trying to find a gun, just because you come here, we may not have it in stock. Our goal is to ship as many firearms as possible out the door, so we don't just sit on inventory right now. We got a lot of back orders. We're loading and shipping more than we ever have by a long shot. It's just not enough to keep up with demand. But we've recently had a few people come into the showroom like, "What do you mean you don't have it?" I'm like, well, we don't have it.
Well, it was a neat experience for me just to see all those rifles. I mean, it was a neat experience to see the history of Weatherby. And so if you're a history buff or a gun buff, it was to see, but it was also just neat to put my hands on all those guns. And there's a lot of them. I mean, as far as configurations and whatnot. And so it was an enjoyable experience.
Yeah, in the showroom, we've got a display model of pretty much one of everything that we make. So if you're wondering what X gun feels like, come check it out for sure. There's a number of really cool reasons to come to Sheridan. We're one of them, but this summer, I mean, there's so much stuff going on. The Wild Rodeo, I mean, that's a big time draw. We get a ton of people that week. It's like the third week in July, I think. It's a big deal. We're on the way to we're almost exactly halfway between Mount Rushmore and Yellowstone. So
and a ton of history in this area. If you like Western history,
no doubt.
The American West, the Indian Wars. Those types of things. It's a real neat community.
I got a question for you, Glenn. This is a selfish question. If you won, are you eligible to win the Supertag?
I do not play. I just don't think that would look very good.
Give your money to conservation.
That probably
What's
wouldn't
that?
look good.
It would. I don't think it would look good.
But let's say you did win, and you were going to be hunting elk. Where would you go hunt elk?
Well, I would probably go to the Apasorica Range in the northwestern part of the state. And, it depends on the hunt. But what I really encourage, particularly for non-residents, we have some true wilderness areas up there. And if you haven't experienced a horseback backcountry hunt, you should do that. So not only is there the biggest elk in Wyoming, a lot of the biggest elk come out of that area, that experience is worth it in yourself. So that's what I would encourage people to do. I mean, if people aren't do-it-yourselfers, or that is big country, or aren't interested in an outfitter, that might not be the package for you, because that's big country and grizzly bear country. So people can go to the Red Desert, areas like the Ferris Mountains, areas 22 and 111, and 7's always popular, and so there's a lot of good elk hunters. But if it was, even me being a resident, I think that's where I'd go, because I definitely want a shot at a nice animal, but you just can't beat that experience, to me, is going to the backcountry in Wyoming to do that.
In that unit, Northwest, what's typical draw odds?
Well,
for a non-resident, how about? Because it's it's a little different for residents. We don't get points as residents.
Most of those you need max points to draw. Put it that way, and it's not 100%. And I believe we're up to 15 points now. So people are waiting a long time.
15 years.
Yeah.
To have a reasonable shot.
Yeah, at getting those. And you know, like I said, if you are in the preference point game now, and you've been planning to do that, and we always encourage people to plan ahead. You know, people, I work sportsman shows and things like that, and people ask me, I want to hunt in Wyoming. The first question I ask, say, you know, do you have preference points? So it's very important for people to plan ahead. But if you're in that game already, you know, I want to reiterate, you keep all your preference points. So if you are close to drawing a license now, you know, you could be hunting elk this year and back in 2 years or whatever it might be, hunting those same areas to do that.
Same question for antelope.
You know, a lot of antelope, most of our red desert units to me are fairly good. Like all animals, a lot of those are affected, at least horn growth, by weather and habitat conditions. And we are actually pulling back our antelope licenses this year.
I was going to ask, we had a serious storm come through.
Yeah, we had a serious storm just a few weeks ago. We had 3 feet of snow. We did have some drought conditions last year, and that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. And we are always carefully monitoring those herds. So we are cutting back the antelope in those areas. And so, you know, people ask me about the best unit for antelope, but you know, most of those in the 60s, you know, 57s have always been popular. You know, you can't go wrong. And again, with the Supertag, at least you don't have to choose. You can hunt on all of them if you want to, but you should look at the weather conditions, because that is going to make a difference. And if it is a drought year and we've had some herds struggling, that's definitely going to affect horn growth.
I have another question. This is a very selfish question. What would it take to get the state of Wyoming to make a single unit across all the species? So right now, antelope 10 and 15 is mule deer 23 and 26 is elk 109, is bear 8, is prairie dog 12, eagle 7. Just kidding about the eagle part and the prairie dog part, but they're all different. It's like coming here is so confusing.
It is confusing, and it takes a while to understand our regulations. And we are always available at the Game and Fish to ask questions, and we want you to draw a license. The reason for that is that we just take our management of wildlife very seriously. And so those are based on herd units.
Yep.
And the way we do that, and we manage each of those herd units separate. You know, for species like antelope, we are looking at crowding issues and the amount of public land and private land. And so, you know, we could do that, but then our management must suffer, if that makes sense, because those species, their habitats and their ranges are not the same. And so, you know, that's a trade-off in the state, is that I know it's an interest for us that we would always like to make things as simply as possible. But sometimes when you make those simplifications, you're reducing your ability to manage herds, and we try to do the best for that.
Darn it, that was a good answer.
Well, we like suggestions, and you know, there's some things that we can do better, and it's a trade-off. But you know, it's a lot of work, and even in these units that, you know, half public land, half private land, you know, getting adequate harvest and trying to distribute that. And occasionally with some of our herds, we have damage issues, and we're working with landowners on that. And so there's just a lot of complexity that goes in to doing that. And you know, we just got done through this process, but we do, you know, from each of our regions, we do provide that opportunity for people to ask questions and make suggestions, and for us to let them know what's coming up about the next hunting season.
So who do they call if there are questions? What's the best way to go about?
You know, just call our main number. We have a help desk, and those guys work all day long answering questions, and they'll be able to answer that. And so that's a great resource as far as just applying for licenses. If you have questions about our license application system, But, part of the job of our wardens and biologists is to answer questions to the public. So if you are planning a hunt and you have an area that you're considering, all those numbers are on our website. Don't be scared to call them up. And they're happy to tell you about local conditions and give you local pointers, and they're interested in having harvest. And the Wyoming Game and Fish Department, we do not get general funds from the state of Wyoming. We are funded by licenses and federal taxes on hunting and fishing equipment. And so these are our customers we serve, and we want them to be successful.
You got to back it up. What's the last thing you said?
What's that?
You're funded by license sales,
dollars.
and what's the other thing?
Taxes.
Off of?
Hunting and fishing equipment on guns and the ammunition, and also.
I need more dings. The federal excise tax.
Yep.
That is something that I think Weatherby, the entire firearms industry, has probably done a poor job. Really, the whole United States has probably done a poor job of understanding, communicating, and talking about what that is. So if you don't know, at that first major sale from any manufacturer of ammo, firearms, and archery equipment, not accessories, but bows, we pay a federal excise tax on the first major transfer. So if it ships to a distributor, we pay 10% of whatever that distributor paid. We pay directly to the government. And that goes into this pool that then, it's a federal pool. And then the states, as I understand it, it's basically a 50% match. The state has to apply to come up with 50% of the money. So if we're going to go do a project, whatever it is, it's there, it's sitting, but their action has to be taken by the state, and some of the funding has to come through stuff like this Supertag raffle to help get those federal dollars. There's a formula, as I understand it, that allocates some state by state based on population and other things.
Size of the state. Size of the state and population.
But the point is ammo, firearms, archery, when that stuff is purchased, a big part of the reason why public lands stay public, the access points stay where they're at, trails are maintained, is because of the sale of firearms. And it's a tax that most people forget about because the manufacturers pay it to the government instead of the consumer paying it at the counter. So it's kind of buried a couple layers before the consumer ever sees it.
And the crazy thing is non-hunting outdoors people get to reap the benefit of that 11% FET like in an incredible way, because tents, backpacks, bicycles, like all the things that they end up using to access public lands, and the public lands themselves, the maintenance of trails, stuff like that, they're not paying for that.
Yeah. It's every state varies.
It does.
Every state has a different funding model, but here in Wyoming, we are funded by sportsmen through the license sales, through things like the super tags and through those taxes. And so that makes the wheels go round in Wyoming for wildlife conservation.
No doubt. Glenn, you got anything else you want to talk about on the super tag?
I don't. I just think it's a great opportunity. I am typically the one that calls winners, so I hope I'm giving you guys a call. I really appreciate what Weatherby has done. They've been involved with the super tag from the beginning, and if you are going to buy a super tag ticket, consider buying one in May, because somebody's going to win that rifle. And
somebody will win a Backcountry Ti in the caliber of their choice.
And I held that rifle, and I can't imagine too many people being disappointed with that opportunity.
Nope.
Not a chance.
Glenn, thanks for coming in. We really appreciate it. Love what you're doing. I love the whole idea around the super tag and the super tag trifecta. It's super awesome. Thanks again.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed being here, and I hope more people have the opportunity to stop by and see your showroom and meet Weatherby.